showed it to them. The same thing.
With recording, you can't edit.
You can.
That's all right.
Okay. I'm just gonna go to you guys. So.
Good morning, everyone. We are here at Emo News Studio in the lovely community of Paybush. And this morning we have lovely guests with us, and we are all in the same color. We are in the color theme this morning. And as you can see, they are representing Flow, and they will introduce themselves in a little bit. We are here to discuss the recent connectivity issues that the north of Dominica has been experiencing. So I turn now to my guest, and you may introduce yourselves.
So my name is Sharon Jama. I'm the country manager for Flow here in Dominica. I've been living here for the last 3 years, so I'm happy to be here with you today. And one of my colleagues, Ronald, I'll let you tell them about yourself.
Thank you. My name is Ronald Reyes. I'm based in Miami, but I've been working with you guys for the last 8 years, and I'm very happy to be part of the Flow, network. So thank you.
Welcome to our studio here at Emo News. We are happy to have you guys. Now let's get right into the purpose for why we are here this morning. Just tell us a little bit more about the issue that has been affecting the North.
Okay, so I'll start, and if anything, I'll let Ronald jump in as necessary. So sometime last year, we noticed that we were receiving degradation in service on our network, and on investigation, we realized that one of the providers in Guadeloupe, they had started to turn up some mobile sites on a frequency that was conflicting with our network. They're basically causing interference in our network, and that obviously caused an impact to the quality of service that we've been providing. Customers would have been impacted, so what we did initially was to turn off some of the impacted radios so that customers, yes, they would receive a degradation in service, but they would still have some level of service. I think that's the most simplistic way to speak to what happened and what we did.
And if we were to just expound on the affected communities, so we know it's in the north, but can you tell us exactly from what area to what area? Are you able to?
So my colleague Ramsey is going to come and tell you the exact communities.
Okay.
The interesting thing about Dominica is that most of your names are French. So I have not mastered the art as yet of pronouncing some of these French names. So I'd rather defer to a local Dominican to give you those communities.
No problem, no problem. And if you can just explain to us more on the technical side exactly what is going on and the steps Flo has taken to rectify the issue.
Yeah, well, pretty much she gave us a good explanation about what's happening. We have a conflicting between Guadeloupe and us, pretty much the same bandwidth, you know, and they have their own regulations. We have our own regulations, so we don't, unfortunately, we don't control. So in a certain time before, we tried to install some filters to avoid this, and it worked, but definitely not the services that we're looking for you to have. So what about today? And this is why I'm here. I'm managing a project which consists on improving the whole network. Dominica has currently 53 sites. From those 53 sites, we need to do some works in 3G band and then the LTE band in order to give us the service that you guys are expecting, that you have to have. So what we're looking for is using we're getting a hardware in June that is coming to market, and we're going to be doing some changing some equipment, some elements within the network. I'm expecting at the end of July, touching August or something like this, we might have customers might feel the experience that, you know, the service should be improving. I can't commit with a date exactly right now. We have something that is coming, regulations, custom clearance, and actually some material that is on the way, but it's being ordered. And I would like just to highlight that thing because the material is on the way. Hopefully you guys very soon are gonna feel a better experience within the Flow network.
Okay, well, that's great news. And even as you mentioned, you said sometime in August, so there's not a clear timeline as to when we can expect improvement, but we know it's this year.
So for sure, the equipment is scheduled to arrive in Dominica mid-June, and we've already spoken to the authorities about expediting clearance so that as soon as we have the equipment on island, we're able to get it out of the port and get it installed. It is unfortunate that this situation occurred because, I mean, customers in this area would have been accustomed to having good quality service, and unfortunately it means that we have now to invest in excess of $1 million to try to correct this problem that in essence we really didn't create and we didn't plan for, because you never expect something like this to happen. So we've moved on it, and we would have ordered the equipment since last year, but obviously the equipment had to go through a manufacturing process, and we expect it to be on island by June 15th, after which we will immediately begin deployment.
So can we say, you mentioned that it is going to cost you something. So can we say that customers will not be compensated for the service interruptions?
So we have been doing one-off compensations because remember, a mobile service is mobile, and most persons may not have service in a specific area, but then when they drive to another area, they do have service. And for the most part, at home is where customers may have a problem, and most persons have Wi-Fi at home. So far we've not found it necessary to be given significant amounts of compensation.
Okay. And can customers expect increase in service because of the cost to the company?
Increase in service?
In service fees?
Oh, no. So for sure, the remedial steps that we're taking to fix the problem will be at the company's expense. We're not going to pass that cost on to customers.
Okay. And how has this issue affected? Is it just landline, or is it both mobile and landline services? I mean, telephone and internet.
So it is only mobile services that have been impacted. Our landline service continues to work well. If you do have issues with landline, it would simply be a one-off situation. This particular issue is impacting our mobile service. And as I said earlier, it is not every instance of mobile, because we would have turned off some of the radios that would have been causing the issue. So to some degree, persons will have service. It may be degraded or it may be a little bit slower, but there's some level of service.
Okay. And we did say it was telephone service and not necessarily data.
So for mobile, it's both voice and data that is
okay.
impacted.
Okay. And we have your colleague joining.
Ramsey, yes. Ramsey, if you can introduce yourself.
And then shed some more light.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Good
My name
morning.
is Ramsey Jakes. I'm responsible for the fixed and mobile network at Flow. I'm the supervisor in that department. Reference the issue that we have been experiencing on the network. The issue is primarily to do with an interference from a French operator. That's happening on the northwest, northeast, and partially on the west coast that we are seeing now.
So Ramsey, the question that was asked was to give an idea of a few of the specific communities.
Yeah, so that would include from the Atkinson to Marigot, all the way up to Vickers, Blenheim, Penville, right? On the west, we'll have places like Portsmouth, Capuchin. You'll see that issue, some parts in Platmat Pier. We're beginning to see that issue in St. Joseph, Girodale, somewhere in Glasgow, this type of places.
Right, and as I said, we would have taken some remedial steps with, so we've, to some degree, ensured that while we wait for the equipment to arrive, we've turned off some of the radios that would have caused some of the interference so that customers can still have some level of service. It is not the quality of service that we are known for and would have provided before. But again, like I said, equipment is on its way, should be here by June 15th. As soon as it comes, we've already started conversations with the authorities to make sure that the equipment, as long as it hits the port, we can get it out immediately and start deployment of that equipment.
And let's talk about in the future. I know you said that this isn't something that we could have predicted, but what about in the future? Do we see something like this likely occurring? Is it possible that something like this could occur again in the future?
Something like this is possible, but I'm going to ask Craig to just share a little bit from the regulatory standpoint, because I know that they're doing some work to ensure that something like this is not repeated and impacts Dominica. So Craig, if you can share a little bit about what the NTRC is doing.
And he has to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Craig Nesty. I'm the Executive Director of the NTRC, National Telecoms Regulatory Commission. The NTRC basically works in concert with ECTEL, and we manage spectrum that's issued to the telecom providers to operate their mobile networks. We became aware of the incident last year, around June, and the NTRC has been working with ANFR, which is the French regulator, who basically auctioned that band of spectrum. It was won by a company called Outremer, and they're now rolling out their 5G network in Guadeloupe, which is because France should be in Region 1, and we in Dominica should be in Region 2, which is the Americas should be in Region 2, and those are designations by the International Telecoms Union. France should be in Region 1, Dominica should be in Region 2 with the rest of the Americas. But when those negotiations were being done for apportioning of spectrums according to regions, there wasn't the consideration that France would be so close to the Americas. And Guadeloupe and Martinique are operating like France. So they've increased the French footprint right into Region 2, and that is causing some major incompatibilities with the spectrum. So we've been in discussions with ANFR to have this rectified. We've there were certain things that were required of us, like reports of the incidents and an MOU, which ECTEL is currently working with the French. Hopefully, once that MOU is in place, it should prevent the French from impacting us adversely moving forward. Right?
That sounds like some good news.
Yes, it's good news, but it's taken a lot of time and a lot of negotiations, and there are a lot of agencies involved. It's not just the NTRC. There's the NTRC, there's ECTEL, there's ANFR from the France, and I think recently we're now talking to the ambassador of the French who resides in St. Lucia to have further discussions on ameliorating this whole situation.
And so we can expect that it will take a little while in terms of regulation and so on.
Well, regulation moves a little slowly to begin with, yeah. But we anticipate that flow has done sufficient that customers in the north should experience some improvements soon, because flow is not waiting on regulations to get things resolved. Flow is actually moving ahead to try and solve this. But we want to make sure that this does not happen again, and we want to make sure that our telecom providers in Dominica are protected from such interference from the French. I just want to make a note that Outre-mer rolled out in Guadeloupe, and they were supposed to do the same thing in Martinique, but because of the impact in the north, they redid their plans for the south, so the south should not be impacted with that. So we now are working assiduously to get a resolution for the north.
Okay. Any final words to the customers? Final words of assurance to the customers?
So from me, my final words would be to say thanks. Say thank you for your service, for your years. We've been Flow with different names. So at one point we were Lime, we were called Cable and Wireless, and we were many other things before. We've been around in the Caribbean for over 150 years. We've been giving to the community. We've been building the community through all the projects that we do, the investment that we make, and that's something that we're going to continue to do. So I want to thank the customers, not just here in the north, but across Dominica, for staying with us. And more specifically, even now in this difficult time, I want to thank you for your patience. We are going to continue to work in your best interests. It has been a long journey. It has been a difficult journey, but we see light at the end of the tunnel. And as I said earlier, equipment should be on island, because just to support what Craig said, yes, the regulatory process will continue, but while that is continuing, we've taken the decision to invest well over $1 million to fix this problem. And that investment is because we value you and we value your business. So again, thank you for your patience. Thanks for your understanding. And we will continue to work to ensure that you have the level of service that you deserve.
Thank you so very much. And on behalf of all of us here at MOUs, and I must say our viewers as well, we want to thank you for coming here this morning to address this issue head on and to enlighten us as to what is going on and all that you have done so far to rectify the issue. So thank you so much, Mr. Nesty, Ms. Jamat, and Mr. Reyes for coming here on MOUs to address the issue. You want to say goodbye to our viewers?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.